Let's be honest, most people are soft, addicted to dopamine, avoiding anything uncomfortable and still wondering why they are stuck. A year ago I was the same, waking up late, glued to my phone and doing nothing productive at all. And unsurprisingly, this was my physique. And even more unsurprisingly, this was my bank account at the time. But then I set myself 5 rules, 5 habits that I had to follow every day if I wanted to tick the day off as a productive day. Nothing to do with mindset and nothing to do with motivation. These 5 habits didn't just make me more productive. They made me more confident, more respected, and honestly more dangerous in business. Just over a year later, this is my physique now. And this is a client I closed last week for over £2,500. Becoming confident didn't just change my social life. It allowed me to stop getting bossed around by the people I was taking sales calls with. I didn't feel weaker, I didn't feel smaller, I didn't feel less valuable than the people I was taking sales calls with, and that allowed me to sell so much better. I've always had that ambition, but for the longest time I couldn't execute. I'd set goals, I'd get hyped, but by day 3 I would crash. I was living off these random motivation spikes that could literally be triggered by seeing someone driving a Lamborghini on my phone. It was so unreliable and I was so uncertain of what I was going to be doing the next day. The truth, I didn't trust myself. I'd say I'd do something and then I'd bail, over and over. This cycle continued for a good year or so. I'd see a hustle I liked the look of on TikTok, I'd try it for a week or 2, and then I'd give up, simply because I did not trust myself to be able to make this business work. If I saw a week of no sales, I'd simply think it wasn't my fault, it's someone else's fault, I'll just quit, because I didn't trust myself to be innovative enough to make it work. Then one night I was scrolling on TikTok and I realized that I'd just spent the last hour or 2 watching other people's lives on my phone. I was sat there scrolling like this aimlessly for about an hour or 2, doing nothing productive, just watching other people live their lives. That's when I decided something had to change, and change quickly. Habit number 1, no phone until 1 win every day. This changed my entire mental state. I used to wake up and check my phone before I even sat up in bed. Within seconds I was reacting to people in my Discord server, I was scrolling on my phone, I was comparing my physique to other people's physiques. It was not healthy. Now I don't touch my phone when I wake up until I've got at least 1 win. That could be making my bed, journaling, writing down one thing that I did that day that I enjoyed. Anything like that. I'm not allowed my phone until I've done 1 win. People have become so unbelievably addicted to their phone that it's become a desirable trait to not rely on your phone. I try to stay away from my phone for as long as I can, simply because nothing good comes from it. My most productive hours are spent on my laptop. I'm never productive on my phone, no matter what it is that I'm doing. I'll always find myself on my TikTok For You page or on my Instagram Reels or even YouTube Shorts. It never ends well. It sounds small, but it really does shift your identity from passive to active. You become the kind of person that moves first. Habit number 2, 1 hour of sweat every day. This one's physical, mental, and emotional, all in one. It's not about looking good or being confident, it's about earning your peace. Whether it's running, lifting, boxing, or even just walking up a hill for an hour, I make sure I sweat every day. I started by going for a run twice a week. I was inconsistent at first, but I pushed forward because I had such a big desire to change my physique. Within 1 week, I upped that to 10,000 steps a day, non-negotiable. Then I was hooked. I spent at least 2 hours on my feet exercising, whether that was walking, running, or even in the gym. Those 2 hours became my non-negotiables. It forces you to feel discomfort daily, and when discomfort becomes normal, you become unbeatable. Habit number 3, stop snacking and stay hungry. This one's weird, but hear me out. I found myself constantly grazing, whether it's protein bars, fruits, yogurt, anything like that. I was just constantly snacking. I probably couldn't go an hour and a half at my worst without having something in my mouth. Yeah, it didn't really sound right, did it? It wasn't because I was hungry, it's because I was bored and I didn't know what else to do. Every time I did it, I lost energy, I lost focus, and I lost my desire to win. So I stopped and I instead focused on having 2 to 3 very valuable meals per day. That's it, no snacking at all. And you know what happened? I got hungry again. And not just for food, for progress. When your body's hungry, your mind sharpens. You move quicker and you don't settle for less. A lion's biggest weapon is its hunger. No animal in wildlife is more hungry than a lion. And the lion uses this hunger as determination to go out and hunt, go out and protect its family. It uses this hunger for success. This is exactly what you need to do every day in your life. A man who's full all day, a man who's constantly pleased, is never going to go out and chase something. Habit number 4, build self-trust by showing up every day. This one's the most powerful. We all talk big, but if you don't follow through every time, your brain knows you're lying and you have no conviction behind what you're saying. So I started with the small things, 20 press-ups every morning, writing down one thing that I learned that day, and also saying no to the things that don't benefit me. I did them every day, even if I was tired, even if I forgot until the evening. That consistency builds self-respect. And once you respect yourself, you don't chase approval. You move with conviction. This conviction is so important in every area of life. When starting a new business, conviction will help you not give up after you go a week or even 2 weeks with no sales. When going to the gym, conviction will help you not give up when you don't see results for a month or two. Conviction carries your mind through the trust that you built in it through everything in life, and it's so important you work on it. Habit number 5, speak with purpose. Confidence isn't how loudly you talk, it's how clearly you speak. I used to fill all of my sentences with I think, kinda, even sorry. Like, who am I apologizing to? This was all just to sound polite or humble. Then I made a rule. If I'm going to say something, I say it with purpose and I say it with conviction. I slowed my speech, I lowered my tone, and I cut out the filler words. And instantly people responded differently. In conversations, in meetings, and just in life in general. You don't need to be the loudest, you just need to be the most certain and the most educated on whatever you're talking about. And that's a skill you can 100% train. Taking sales calls always used to be my biggest fear. I hated selling to people because I didn't believe it was a fair trade. This guy that's making way more money than me, he probably owns a 6 or 7 figure brand, wants to buy a website off me, a 14, 15, 16-year-old who sits in my bed until 10 a.m. scrolling on TikTok. It just made me feel like I was scamming him, and as a person with morals, I just wasn't okay with that. And that's why, especially when I used to sell my mentorship, when I wasn't as confident as I am now, I stopped. I thought I could never sell a high ticket offer because at the time I was not a high ticket person. Working on the way I carried myself and the way I spoke completely changed that. 90 days of these 5 rules completely changed my life. I wasn't relying on motivation anymore, I was trained for discipline. I trusted myself and people evidently treated me differently. I looked better, I moved better, and I spoke better. It didn't come from hype, it came from habits. Quiet ones and daily ones. Don't try to do these 5 at once. Start with 2, trial them for 30 days, even just 15 days, and I promise you, you will see some kind of progress in some area of life. If you want a free habit tracker that I built for myself, you can see it in the description. And if you're on the self-improvement like me, subscribe. I post the most authentic content on my channel of what it's really like building a 7-figure business at 16 years old.